I am more worried about my 9-year-old being impacted by social media in ways that screw with their social and emotional development than I ever have been about them being exposed to explicit content or inappropriate material in virtual online spaces. Look, I'm a screen positive mama. I have spent decades, my whole life, studying two main things: children's social and emotional well-being, mostly in relationship to parenting, and kids and media literacy. I want to tell you what keeps me up at night and the way that having my own kids has really shifted the kinds of arguments I'm willing to make about phones and social media. When I think about my own kids in particular and their peers and the rising number of children and tweens with access to phones and social media. Research on this is mixed, but Pew recently found that half of all 8 to 12-year-olds and 95% of 13 and up-year-old kids are using social media. Yet, it also finds that social media exposure disrupts good development, tracks really closely onto rising social, emotional, and mental health challenges for our kids. Yale found that. Harvard School of Public Health found that. Pew found that. It has been replicated. Now, I'm a media literacy person, and before I had children, I would have been like, let's temper this some. Social media provides valuable for communities to kids who desperately need to see themselves, like queer kids, for example. I would have said teens are engaging in activism and global networks, and the fear culture gives no space for that. I would have said that teens are mostly connecting with peers they know in real life. It's not like they're going out and meeting bad guys. And all of those things are still true. And yet we do need to give tweens the media literacy skills to thrive. I'm not suggesting we throw phones out the window or do no media literacy or even go screen free. But we don't need to give kids in elementary and middle school phones with social media access. I know, then your kid comes home and they're sobbing because every other fifth grader has a phone and you don't want them to feel left out. It's hard to hear and it's not easy. But here's what I am doing. 1, delay access to social media where possible. Of course, you have to adjust to your kid's social environment, their maturity. If a device is needed to contact me, it'll be a watch or a flip phone, and it will be for use only when they need it to get to me. So a sleepover or walking to a friend's house, something like that where I want to be able to talk to them. 2, open lines of communication and even practice scrolling together while your kids are young enough to tolerate that, bringing up questions and concerns that highlight media literacy while you scroll on your feed. Of course, check the content to make sure you're teaching them how to do it. 3, invest in relationships with other families who are also going to delay getting their kids phones so that your kiddo has peers who are having a similar experience to them. 4, know this is new territory and be prepared to adjust your parenting, support your kid, bring your community together, be vulnerable together as we figure it out. Tell me in the comments, at what age will your child be getting a phone? What kind of phone is it going to be? Is it a watch, a smartphone with or without social media, a flip phone? Have you discussed these values with your child, your community, your school?